Hi and welcome. My name is Kim, also known as Dorothy's daughter here on YouTube. Today I have the privilege of talking to you about planning a vacation wardrobe and focusing on one pair of pants that is truly a vacation pair of pants, and that is the summer key pant. So basically, what is a capsule? If you go over Pinterest, you'll find them all over the place, and it's basically getting as many looks as you can from as few pieces as you can and having lots of options. So a travel vacation wardrobe would be a collection of basic clothing that can easily be mixed and matched. And that way you can minimize the number of pieces that you need to take and have as many looks as you possibly can for that vacation. But first you need to ask yourself some questions. First of all, do you have any luggage limitations? A lot of times if you're flying, you might have limitations on how much you can take with you as far as it being expensive per suitcase. So you want to minimize that as much as possible. Usually you have to pay for your luggage. Sometimes you don't. If you're traveling internationally, sometimes you don't. And sometimes you can have a special deal with one of their cards or something like that. But a lot of times you do have to pay for every bag you take. So it's real important to know what that limitation is so that you can plan. Next, you're going to think about what climate you're going to go to, because it's going to look a lot different if you're going to go visit someone in upstate New York versus down in the tropics. So you want to consider that climate and make sure that your pieces will enhance that climate. And also, what is your typical day going to be? Are you going to be sitting on the beach all day? So you'd need to take a lot of bathing suits or whatever. Are you going to be wining and dining every evening? Or are you just going to sit and play cards with your family? Either way, you kind of need to have an idea of what that typical day would be. Also, sometimes you're going for a special occasion. So maybe there's a wedding or an anniversary celebration, but you want to make sure that you have pieces that work for any special occasion that you might be celebrating while you're gone. Also, does your resort have a dress code? There's actually a resort that my husband and I like to go to in Jamaica that actually has a dress code in their nicest restaurant. So you need to make sure that you don't miss out of going, especially when they're all-inclusive. You don't want to miss going to the fanciest restaurants, so you want to make sure that you have whatever you need to get into the resort restaurants. In Jamaica, we go to the couples resorts, and there are a few restaurants on site there that women have to wear a dress, and men have to wear long pants and closed-toed shoes. And I mean, a lot of times, if it weren't for that, we probably wouldn't travel with shoes. So something to consider as you're thinking about taking a wardrobe. Next, are you traveling with someone? It's going to look a lot different if you're traveling with family or if you're just traveling with your husband or significant other. If you're traveling with family, you might be sharing like a condo, and there's going to be common areas. So modesty could be a factor. You might want to make sure you have that robe with you, that composed robe. So you might want to make sure that you have something sort of comfy to have around the condo area if you're sharing, or house. Airbnb is real popular now. So you just want to make sure that you have all those modesty angles covered, because, honestly, if you go on vacation with your husband, you're not worrying about it. But if you do go with another couple, you probably would worry about it. Next, are you going to have laundry access? Nobody really likes to do laundry on vacation, but if you're going for more than a week, you might want to consider maybe just washing a few things. It's much better to not have to do that, which is why you can make your capsule work for you. But it is nice to know if you are going to have access to being able to wash a few. And then the last thing I guess I would ask is, are you drawn to a certain color scheme? So if you want things to work together as much as possible, you're probably going to want to kind of keep the colors similar, especially for pieces that might go together. Basically, I'm going to show you a little 4-piece capsule that I put together that all works together. From 4 pieces, there are a lot of different looks. So as you're doing this and you're thinking about what might go together, consider a little bit of a color scheme. So if it's just a 1-piece garment, you don't have to worry about it as much. But if you are taking pieces that you can mix and match, you want to kind of choose a color scheme that works for you. So in a few short weeks, I mentioned I'm going to Mexico. And I'm actually going for 2 weeks. But for the purposes of planning this vacation capsule, I'm going to say we're planning for 7 days. So basically what I came up with, and this is probably even more than we actually need, but what I came up with is 4 tops, 2 shorts, 2 crops or long pants, 1 skirt, if you wear skirts, a couple of dresses, a couple of bathing suit cover-ups, which I don't think you can have too many of, but at least 2 you need, PJs, a summer robe, which you don't think of composed as a summer robe, but it definitely can be, and at least 3 bathing suits, because you want to let them dry out completely before you wear them again. So, and in the tropics, don't forget things actually dry slower because it's, muggy and humid and all that. So you definitely want to have enough bathing suits. Another thing you can't have too many of. So for the purposes of this little demonstration, I guess that's what we'll consider the capsule for me to go to Mexico for a week. All right, so let's talk about tops. So over here, there's a Cadence, and that's one of my favorite sleeveless things to make. So quick to make. And I'm going to tell you a little more about this particular one at the end of the video. This here are classic tees. That is something that you cannot take too many of as well. Definitely always take some t-shirts, because no matter what, you always want to put on shorts and a t-shirt anytime, right? Also, you want to do the Rhapsody is another example. There's many patterns by Love Notions that you can do short or sleeveless, and they are all fantastic for travel. Next are shorts. Here are Cadence shorts with a harmony top. This is part of my little collection that I'm going to show you. Cadence shorts are great. Also, Allegro shorts are great. Next, we have pants. We have long or crops. The 2 over here are Sabrina's. And then this one over here is the Summer Key pant. And this is part of my little collection that I made. And next you have a skirt. Probably my favorite skirt by Love Notions. It's easy, quick, and very beachy would be the Allegro. It's like jogging pants and a skirt. So definitely would be worthwhile having one with you, especially if you come up against a dress code that you didn't know about. That is something that you can do. Next are dresses. Here's just a few. I really like the Tempo, which is over here, and the Summer Basic, which is over here. And they're great for vacation. Both of those have gone with me to Mexico a few times. Next are cover-ups. So this one over here is the Laundry Day tee. I did the tunic and I lengthened it by about 4 to 5 inches. And then you have a perfect length for a cover-up. And they're quick, easy to make, and they pack like 0 space. You can roll them up, and they're wonderful for that. And especially if you get a little lightweight cotton blend, because they don't wrinkle as much as the cotton ones do. You can just throw those in your suitcase and hang them up, and they're great all week long. So you can't take too many of those. The other one that I think is really great is this one here, which is actually not a Love Notions pattern, but it could be the harmony actually lengthened into a dress. You could get that same look, and that's a real easy on and off, and it's just that there is cotton lawn, and it's super easy on, easy off, go to lunch, that kind of thing. So next, we're going to talk about PJs. And basically the 2 patterns I like a lot are the Tranquil Sleepwear and the Luna Loungewear. I have pictures, but I couldn't find them right before I filmed, so you'll have to take my word for it, but they're both really comfortable. I think the deciding factor for me would be whether or not you need to be modest, because the Luna loungewear is just a little harder to be modest. So depending on who you're traveling with, but also you can use the composed robe, and you can make that short sleeved and a little shorter, and you have a really nice summer robe, especially in like a waffle knit, just like a spa robe, really. So here is part of my capsule. I made Summer Caye in shorts and pants, and I made a harmony top to match. So I have a fake jumpsuit, and then I also have a white summer basics tank. So when I mix and match all these things, I have several options, and also like a day into night version as well. So the fake jumpsuit, although it's not a dress, I think it's dressy enough. It would get by any dress code. So, but that's my favorite. You can see just how wonderful the Summer Caye pants are for beachy wear. Very, very nice. So now I'm going to go ahead and do a review of the Summer Caye pants. If you watch my channel, then you know I'm really methodical about how I do my reviews. I have certain categories I talk about, and so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of give you my thoughts on the pattern, which are mostly positive. So here are the Summer Caye pants, and they come in several different options. You have the long version. You can have like just a wide leg, or you can have the palazzo pants. Mine were the palazzo pants. You can also have the shorts or crops, and you can do a couple of different hem variations, so it's pretty versatile pattern. As far as the sizing goes, it's 0 to 28, and basically you have lots of options. Do consider that those palazzo pants are going to take a lot of fabric, so if you're going to go that route, especially if you're going to make a jumpsuit, you want to make sure you have quite a bit of fabric. As far as wearability, I think I've kind of almost covered that already, but because it has this elastic back and a flat front, it can go dressy or casual. You can make that out of a knit and have it be just an at-home kind of pajama pant, and it's really comfortable. So you're definitely going to be able to wear these in almost any venue or place. So very, very wearable. No matter what time of year and no matter what climate, you can make something from that pattern. As far as the ease of construction, there's really nothing tricky about this pattern at all. I would say it's maybe an advanced beginner. By advanced, I mean this isn't your first pattern. So if you've made a simpler pattern, what I like to suggest to people as a first pattern in the Love Notions patterns is cadence. Because you get the experience of having a facing and working with wovens. So it's a really great pattern to begin with. So if you've made something like that, you are good to go with these pants. It's very, very simple to make. As far as sizing goes, like I said, 0 to 28, so pretty wide size range. However, I do know that these are going through the rotation of being updated, as most Love Notions patterns are, so stay tuned for that. As far as the true to size of that, I did have to size up for these, but only because of the flowiness that I wanted. So if you want them to look fitted, you're not going to size up. So the shorts I did not, the palazzo pants I did. So just kind of decide how you want them to look. And if you're using a woven and you want that flowy, beachy pant, then you might want to size up just a little bit. And almost never will I tell you to size up a Love Notions pattern, but I think in this case it's probably good. As far as materials needed other than fabric, just some elastic. And it's 1.5 inch elastic, and you just need half the size of your waist. So nothing much needed there as far as extra materials. So as far as fabric goes, you can really choose almost anything mid-weight for these. I actually made mine of a silky sort of woven. You can use linen. You can use just about anything. If you use a knit, though, you're going to want to maybe try to do a little more stable of a knit, but really you can use anything. Cotton lycra would be awesome for those if you were going to do a knit. If you're going to do a knit, though, I would not size up. You might even want to size down a little bit. So it just depends on how much negative or positive ease you like. So basically, to summarize, I will make this pattern again and again and again. I think especially it's a favorite shorts pattern. And if you love those palazzo type pants, it's wonderful for that. So basically, this one gets a huge thumbs up from me. I would just be careful on the sizing up or down depending on your fabric and your desired look, because it could vary a lot. So my last question about vacation is, do you like to bring anything back with you as a souvenir? And how many of you have actually thought of it being fabric? Because I love to bring fabric back from places. And when we go in Mexico, there's not really any fabric stores, but I love those beachy prints. So last year I bought some wraps, some beach wraps from someone there at the resort, and I made a cadence top out of it. So you can consider buying beach wraps if you want to make something. So you can still bring home fabric, but you just have to be a little more creative as far as where you source it. So keep your eyes open for those opportunities. And you can definitely bring home fabric no matter where you are, really. So that about wraps it up for my video here today. If you are watching on February 11th, 2022, then you need to know that Summer Caye is the Feature Friday pattern for this week. It will be $5 for the entire day. So you have until midnight Central Time to get that in and get it for only $5. So I hope you'll join me in just loving Love Notions patterns. I was an ambassador before they asked me to be one because I love those patterns so much. They're not only great patterns, they're great people. So have a great day, and you can always join me over on Dorothy's Daughter, and actually I have more vacation type planning videos over there, as well as one on the bathing suit patterns that are available out there, which I'm going to update soon. So have a fantastic day and happy sewing.